Bonjour Year 9, welcome to Lesson 12, and again today you're working on My Future. And here is a very short list of the equipment you need for today's lesson. You only need your exercise book, a pen and a ruler. Pause if you need to make sure you've got that ready now. Thank you for uploading all your work onto class charts. Please remember to upload clear evidence of all your completed work with all the activities labelled really clearly for me, please, so I can mark it. And please make sure you follow the indicated time to complete the activities. If you just can't finish in the time, move on to the next activity. And if you have any questions at all about the activities in today's lesson, please email me, and here is my email address. Merci. As always, I want you to write the date in French in the top right-hand corner. And on the next line down to write the title in French and in English, dans 10 ans, in 10 years. Underline both the date and title neatly in your book. Then, on the next line down, write down your objective, l'objectif, to write about what you will do in the future. Pause to do that neatly now. Press play to go on to the do now. For your do now activity, I want you to spend no more than 5 minutes translating the sentences below into French, please. So pause to write the French, you don't need to write the English, and press play to check your answers. Très bien, very good, Year 9. Okay, 1. I will leave secondary school. Je quitterai le collège. Make sure you've spelled quitterai correctly with the double T and the AI ending, and that you have your accent going downwards, a grave accent en collège, in the right place. 2. I will go to college. J'irai au lycée. Okay, make sure irai is written correctly, spelled correctly, and that there's an accent on the first E of lycée. And numéro 3, je serai très riche. Make sure you've spelled serai correctly. And make sure your accent on très is going down on the E, and that riche is spelled correctly with an E on the end. And then finally, in 20 years I will have a Ferrari. Dans 20 ans, j'aurai une Ferrari. Make sure that Ferrari, in French, une Ferrari, has got a capital F as well, as it is a noun, and it's a brand, and so it needs to have a capital. Okay, make sure you mark your work correctly. You can correct in a different coloured pen if you want to, but make sure you cross or tick your work and you put the correction neatly at the side so I can see how well you've done. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
For our first activity, I would like us to do a reading comprehension. So what is going to happen first is that I am going to read you a text. So what I want from you is full attention, eyes on the screen, making sure that you've got no distraction. And whilst I'm reading, I want you to follow every single word. Now remember that even though I am the one reading, it's extremely important for your pronunciation that you listen carefully to the text. It's also important for your understanding of the text. So here we go. Salut, je m'appelle Romain. J'ai 14 ans et je suis en 3e au collège. Je suis jeune, mais j'ai déjà des projets d'avenir. Les voici. L'année prochaine, je quitterai le collège et je ferai un apprentissage dans un hôtel. Dans 4 ans, je voyagerai et je travaillerai à l'étranger. Dans 10 ans, je tomberai amoureux de quelqu'un dans un hôtel de luxe. Dans 20 ans, j'habiterai sur une île tropicale. Dans 30 ans, j'aurai peut-être une Ferrari et je crois que je serai très heureux. So this is the text we're going to be working on in the next few minutes. Now, of course, I don't expect you to know all of the words, but I also expect you to have recognized a lot of the words we've been going through in the last lesson. So now I want you to find the French for the following 7 phrases. In your exercise book, write down numbers 1 to 7. That includes the English, and then write down the French straight away next to it. Press pause and then press play when you're ready for the correction. Here is the correction to your work. Numéro 1, j'ai 14 ans. Make sure that you spelled en correctly. 2, je suis en troisième. I know it sounds weird because trois is 3, of course, in French. But the French system works differently. Year 7 is actually sixième, so year 6. Year 8 is cinquième, so year 5. Year 9 is quatrième, so year 4, and so on and so forth. So year 10 is going to be year 3. 3. I will do an apprenticeship. Je ferai un apprentissage. 4. In 4 years. Dans 4 ans. 5. I will work abroad. Je travaillerai à l'étranger. We saw that phrase à l'étranger in our when we talked about jobs and where you want to work. 6. I will fall in love. Je tomberai amoureux. That's the only phrase we hadn't seen last lesson. And I will maybe have j'aurai peut-être. And that may be again peut-être combine of can and be. Well done, you've got them all right. If not, hopefully you've taken all correction. For our next lesson, we're going to do another reading comprehension. But this time, you're going to have 2 texts. So I want you to read Romain and Coralie's text, which are now on your screen. Press pause, and when you finish rereading Romain and reading Coralie, press play again. So now I'm going to show you a series of statements, 8 statements to be exact. Are those statements below vrai, so V, or faux, F, so true or false? So in your exercise book, no need to copy the statement, just write down numbers 1 to 8, and then next to it, put a V for vrai or F for faux. All the information in the text, and of course, if you can't find it in the text, it must be false. Press pause, and then press play again when you want to see the correction. Okay, let's see what you had to find for this activity. Numéro 1. Dans 10 ans, Coralie aura un bon salaire. Have a look at the paragraph that starts underneath her photo. It says, dans 10 ans, j'aurai peut-être un emploi bien payé. So I will maybe have a well-paid job. I think we can consider that one as true because she's highly optimistic. 2. L'année prochaine, Romain quittera le collège. That's exactly what he says, line 5 of the text. L'année prochaine, je quitterai le collège. So that's vrai as well. Dans 4 ans, Coralie travaillera à l'étranger. She actually, dans 4 ans, she says that she will study at university. So that's false. Dans 20 ans, Romain habitera dans une grande ville. He says that he will live on a tropical island. So that's a bit different. So it's false as well. It's not a big town, it's a tropical island. 5. Dans 30 ans, Coralie aura beaucoup d'argent. Now, the hard bit was for you to understand what beaucoup d'argent means. Beaucoup d'argent is a lot of money. And in the text, she said that she will be very rich, which I'm sure you agree is the same thing. So, vrai. Dans 30 ans, Romain sera content. He says, so content is a synonym of happy, which he says in the text, heureux. So that's vrai as well. Dans 20 ans, Romain aura une Ferrari. He says maybe. Oh no, this one is false, sorry. It's because it's not dans 20 ans, it's dans 30 ans that it says in the text. So it's definitely false. I got confused for a second there. And the last one, dans 20 ans, Coralie habitera dans un grand appartement. She actually mentions in the text une grande maison, which is a big house. So it's definitely false. So that's what you needed to do to get full mark. Give yourself a tick or take correction. For our next activity, I am going to show you Coralie's text again. And this time, I want you to fill in the gaps in the translation. So as you can see, there's a few gaps there. Now, one gap doesn't mean one word. It could be a phrase or more than that. But I've kept the punctuation just to help you in your translation and to see where you're at. So in your exercise book now, can you please write down the whole text again with the English in the gaps where it should go? Now, of course, the activity should take you 10 minutes. If you finished earlier, press play to see the correction. If you're still going on after 10 minutes, press play. Well, stop and press play and look at what you've done and see the correction. Here is the correction to Coralie's text, and I've put in red all the things that should go in the gaps. So do take a couple of minutes to check your work and tick all the right things you've done or take correction. For your final activity, I want you to complete a writing. So that means I want you to write a paragraph about your future projects, and I want you to include 2 things you will do next year, 2 things you will do in 4 years, 2 things you will do in 10 years, 2 things you will do in 20 years. Of course, it can be do, have, be, anything related to what we've learned so far. Finally, I want at least 4 reasons overall and connectives linking your work, please. I'm putting back Coralie's text in front of you because you know that one very well and you've got the translation text as a model. Of course, it is only a model. Press pause, and I've got one tiny more activity for you to do next. So press play when you are ready. For our last activity, Year 9, I want us to try something that some of you are already doing in drama. Learning a foreign language involves practicing your speaking on a regular basis. And I think working from home, it's not always easy to practice your speaking. So I wanted to try something new today, and I'm more than happy to receive some feedback on how you found this activity. So this is what I want you to do. It's a short activity. It should take you about 2 minutes. I want you to read the text you have just written, and I want you to read it out loud and then submit it to your teachers. I want you to choose one of the following 3 options to submit to your teacher. You can either record you reading that text as a video and upload it on class charts. It's up to you whether your face wants to appear on it or not. You can also record it as a soundtrack, which actually doesn't involve your face being on there, and of course upload it on class charts so that your teacher can hear you speak in French and is able to actually work on pronunciation as well. Finally, if you can't do it number 1 and number 2, I want you to read the text to an adult in your household and ask them to write you a note confirming that you have completed that task. Take a picture of it and upload the note on class charts, if that makes sense. Like I said, this is new. Hopefully it will work well, and we'll see how it goes.
Great work, Year 9. I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing your fantastic work on class charts. So a very clear photo, please, so I can mark your work. And also, please make sure you upload the sound file so I can listen to your fantastic French. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.